and animals have shared a profound bond since the dawn of time. Our love for pets knows no bounds, and we often treat them as family members. However, this unconditional affection can sometimes be a recipe for disaster. The creatures we adore and trust can turn against us, driven by their primal instincts. The consequences of these attacks can be devastating, leaving families shattered and communities stunned. The trauma of being mauled or killed by a pet is a nightmare no one wants to endure. Yet such incidents occur with alarming regularity, a stark reminder of the delicate balance between humans and animals. The dark side of devotion, when pets turn predators. We love them, care for them, and cherish them as part of our families. Pets bring us joy, comfort, and companionship. But have you ever stopped to think about the delicate balance of power in this relationship? The unconditional love we shower on our pets can sometimes be a double-edged sword. As we open our hearts and homes to these creatures, we often overlook the primal instincts that lie beneath their cute and cuddly exteriors. The consequences of this oversight can be devastating. In the most extreme cases, the very pets we trust and adore can turn against us, unleashing a maelstrom of violence and destruction. Today, we're going to share with you 12 shocking stories of pets that attack their owners. These tales of terror will make you question everything you thought you knew about the human-animal bond. From the savage mauling of a devoted dog owner to the deadly venom of an exotic pet, these stories will leave you on the edge of your seat. So, if you're ready to confront the dark side of our obsession with pets, then join us on this journey into the heart of horror. But be warned, once you've seen the true face of these furry friends, you may never look at them in the same way again. Number 15. The Feline Fury. In the quaint town of Oxfordshire, England, a seemingly ordinary cat named Oscar lived with his owner, 76-year-old Mary Matthews. The affectionate feline had been a loyal companion to Mary for over a decade, providing comfort and solace in her golden years. However, on a fateful day in 2018, Oscar's demeanor took a dark and unexpected turn. Mary's neighbor, who had grown concerned after not seeing her for several days, decided to check in on her. The neighbor's discovery would prove to be a horrific one. Upon entering Mary's residence, the neighbor found her lying on the floor, severely injured and bleeding profusely. Oscar, the once loyal feline, was sitting calmly beside her, his eyes fixed on Mary's lifeless body. The neighbor immediately called emergency services, but it was too late. Mary had succumbed to her injuries, and the cause of death was determined to be severe lacerations inflicted by Oscar. The incident left the community stunned, and many struggled to comprehend the motivations behind Oscar's brutal attack. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Oscar had been experiencing health issues, which have contributed to his sudden aggression. This tragic event serves as a poignant reminder that even the most seemingly docile pets can possess a hidden ferocity waiting to be unleashed under the right circumstances. Number 14. The Lethal Loyalty. In the sleepy town of Colchester, England, a devastating incident occurred in 2014, leaving a family shattered and a community in shock. The tragedy revolved around a seemingly innocent pet dog named Winston, a powerful and muscular pit bull terrier. Winston had been a loyal companion to his owner, 41-year-old Natasha Johnston, and her family. However, on a fateful day in November, Winston's behavior took a deadly turn. Natasha's daughter, 3-year-old Ava, was playing in the living room when Winston suddenly became aggressive, attacking the toddler with ferocious intent. Natasha, who was in the kitchen at the time, rushed to her daughter's aid, but Winston's grip was too strong. Despite her desperate attempts to intervene, Winston inflicted fatal injuries on Ava. The traumatic event left Natasha severely injured and her daughter tragically deceased. The investigation into the incident revealed that Winston had been experiencing behavioral issues in the months leading up to the attack. Despite this, the family had not taken adequate measures to address the problem, ultimately leading to tragic consequences. This heartbreaking incident serves as a stark reminder of the importance of responsible pet ownership and the need for vigilance when it comes to addressing behavioral issues in our pets. Number 13. The Pit Bull Nightmare. In 2015, Elizabeth Ruiz's life was forever changed when her family's pit bull Rocky turned against her in a brutal and unprovoked attack. The assault occurred in the family's backyard in California, where Elizabeth was playing with her siblings. Rocky clamped his jaws around Elizabeth's face, ripping off her nose, lips, and part of her cheek. Elizabeth's screams alerted her parents, who rushed to her aid and managed to pry Rocky off their daughter. Elizabeth was rushed to the hospital, where she underwent emergency surgery to repair the damage. The attack left Elizabeth with severe facial injuries, including a partially severed nose and permanent scarring. Rocky was euthanized by authorities, and the incident served as a stark reminder of the dangers of pit bull ownership. Number 12. The Rottweiler Rampage. In 2012, a brutal attack occurred in the United States when two Rottweilers, Bubba and Capcom, turned against their owner, Diane. The attack happened in Diane's own home, where she had raised the dogs from puppies. Bubba and Capcom became aggressive and attacked Diane, inflicting severe injuries. Diane suffered severe lacerations, puncture wounds, and crushing injuries, requiring emergency surgery. The attack was so brutal that Diane was left with permanent physical and emotional scars. Bubba and Capcom were euthanized by authorities, and the incident raised concerns about the dangers of keeping powerful breeds as pets, particularly when they are not properly trained or socialized. Number 11. The Bull Mastiff brutality. In 2019, a horrific attack occurred in the United Kingdom when a bull mastiff named Rocky turned against his owner, 41-year-old Lee Jennings. The attack happened at Lee's home, where Rocky had been kept as a family pet. Rocky became aggressive and attacked Lee, who became severely injured. Lee suffered severe lacerations, puncture wounds, and crushing injuries, including a fatal head wound. Despite efforts to save him, Lee died shortly after the attack. Rocky was euthanized by authorities, and the incident raised concerns about the dangers of keeping powerful breeds as pets, particularly when they are not properly trained or socialized. Number 10. The Doberman Pinscher disaster. In 2013, a devastating attack occurred in the United States when a Doberman Pinscher named Zeke turned against his owner's grandchildren, including 2-year-old Noni. The attack happened at Pamela's home, where Zeke had been kept as a family pet. Without warning, Zeke became aggressive and attacked Noni, which was a very dangerous attack. Noni suffered severe lacerations, puncture wounds, and crushing injuries, requiring emergency surgery. The attack was so brutal that Noni was left with permanent physical and emotional scars. Zeke was euthanized by authorities, and the incident raised concerns about the dangers of keeping powerful breeds as pets, particularly when they are not properly trained or socialized. Number 9. The Caged Carnage. In 2012, a family in Moscow, Russia, made the unconventional decision to keep a pet lion named Mars in their apartment. The family, consisting of a mother, father, and 2 children, had raised Mars from a cub and treated him like a member of the family. However, as Mars grew in size and strength, the family's living room became increasingly cramped and precarious. On that fateful day, Mars's instincts took over, and he broke free from his cage. The 50-year-old mother, who was watching TV in the living room, was caught off guard as Mars pounced on her. The lion's powerful jaws clamped down on her neck, causing fatal injuries. The family's desperate attempts to intervene were in vain, as Mars continued to maul the lifeless body. The father and children were left traumatized by the horrific scene, and Mars was eventually sedated and taken away by authorities. The incident served as a stark reminder of the dangers of keeping wild animals in domestic captivity. Number 8. The River Rampage. One of the tourists, a 29-year-old woman, was dragged underwater by the hippopotamus and drowned. Several others were injured in the attack, including a man who was thrown from the boat and suffered severe lacerations. The hippopotamus was later tracked down and killed by wildlife authorities, who described it as a man-eater. Number 7. The Tiger Terror. In 2009, a 26-year-old man named Dieter Rudolph was mauled to death by his pet tiger, named Typhoon, in Munich, Germany. Dieter, an experienced animal trainer, had kept Typhoon in a specially designed enclosure in his backyard. However, on the day of the attack, Dieter entered the enclosure to feed Typhoon, unaware that the tiger was in a state of heightened agitation. As Dieter approached Typhoon, the tiger suddenly pounced, knocking him to the ground. Typhoon then inflicted severe lacerations to Dieter's head, neck, and torso, causing him to bleed to death. The attack was witnessed by Dieter's girlfriend, who was unable to intervene in time. The Typhoon was later sedated and taken away by authorities. And Dieter's death served as a tragic reminder of the risks and responsibilities involved in keeping exotic animals as pets. Number 6. The Chimpanzee Chaos. Christina suffered severe lacerations, puncture wounds, and crushing injuries, requiring extensive surgery and rehabilitation. Kiko was later relocated to a primate sanctuary, and the incident raised concerns about the dangers of keeping wild animals as pets and the importance of proper training and socialization. Number 5. The Python Panic. In 2010, a 2-year-old boy named Shayuna Hare was strangled to death by his family's pet Burmese python named Goliath in Miami, Florida. Shayuna's mother, Jaren Hare, had left the child alone in the house for a few minutes, unaware that Goliath had escaped from its enclosure. As Shayuna wandered into the room where Goliath was loose, the python struck, wrapping its powerful coils around the child's body. Shayuna's mother returned to find the child lifeless, with Goliath still wrapped around his body. The incident raised concerns about the dangers of keeping exotic animals as pets, particularly in households with young children. Number 4. The Octopus Assault. In 2019, a 45-year-old man named Alan was severely injured by his pet octopus, named Ollie, in Auckland, New Zealand. Alan, an experienced aquarist, had kept Ollie in a specially designed tank in his home. However, on the day of the attack, Alan attempted to feed Ollie by hand, unaware that the octopus was in a state of heightened agitation. As Alan reached into the tank, Ollie suddenly wrapped its tentacles around his arm, pulling him into the water. Alan tried to free himself, but Ollie's grip was too strong. The octopus then inflicted severe lacerations on Alan's arm, causing him to lose a significant amount of blood. Alan was rushed to the hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery to repair the damage. Number 3. The bear brutality. In 2009, a 24-year-old man named Brent Kandra was attacked and killed by his pet bear, named Rocky, in Orville, Ohio. Brent had raised Rocky from a cub and had kept him in a specially designed enclosure on his property. However, on the day of the attack, Brent entered the enclosure to feed Rocky, unaware that the bear was in a state of heightened agitation. As Brent approached Rocky, the bear suddenly swiped at him with its massive paw, knocking him to the ground. Rocky then inflicted severe lacerations to Brent's head, neck, and torso, causing him to bleed to death. The attack was witnessed by Brent's girlfriend, who was unable to intervene in time. Rocky was later euthanized by authorities, and Brent's death served as a tragic reminder of the dangers of keeping wild animals as pets. Number 2. The cassowary carnage. The family's 76-year-old patriarch suffered severe injuries, including a deep gash on his leg, while the dog was killed in the attack. The cassowary was later euthanized by wildlife authorities, and the incident raised concerns about the dangers of living close to wild and powerful birds like the cassowary. Number 1. The dog breed disaster. In 2011, a 4-year-old boy named Daxton Borchert was fatally attacked by his family's pet dog, a 2-year-old male American Staffordshire Terrier named Buddy, in Walworth, Wisconsin. Buddy had been adopted by the family just a few months before the attack. As Daxton played in the backyard, Buddy suddenly became aggressive and attacked the child, biting him repeatedly on the head and neck. Daxton's mother tried to intervene, but Buddy was too powerful, and he continued to maul the child until he was pulled away by the mother's boyfriend. Daxton suffered severe head and neck injuries and died shortly after the attack. Buddy was later euthanized by authorities, and the incident raised concerns about the dangers of certain dog breeds and the importance of proper training and socialization. The tragic incidents highlighted in this article serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of keeping wild and exotic animals as pets. From the ferocious attack of a pet hippopotamus to the deadly assault of a domesticated bear, these cases demonstrate the devastating consequences of underestimating the power and unpredictability of wild animals. While it may be tempting to keep unusual pets, it is essential to recognize the risks involved and respect the natural boundaries between humans and animals. By prioritizing safety, responsibility, and compassion, we can prevent such tragedies from occurring and promote a culture of appreciation and respect for the natural world.